Hey friends, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to do a fun Ask Me Anything dietitian Q&A. It's not only questions about dietitian stuff. In fact, most of them are just questions to kind of get to know me as your dietitian a little bit further because, you know, if you're here, you might want to know a couple things. So thank you so much for submitting your questions on Instagram. If you're not already following me, check out my page at Dark Blue Nutrition on Instagram and definitely give me a follow as well because I post a decent amount of stuff there as well too. As many of you know, if you watched my most recent video, I recently went full-time with Dark Blue Nutrition, so you'll be seeing this face a lot more for better or worse. And I thought it would be a fun way to kind of segue into more fun nutrition content to just kind of like, you know, get to know each other and for you to get to know a little bit more about me as a dietitian and as a human on this earth. So anyway, before I ramble on more, let's jump into the Q&A. All right, I'm pulling up my handy dandy laptop. I need new stickers. Some of them are falling off. First question is, why did you choose to become a registered dietitian? So this is a good question and a good one to start off with too, I felt like. The reason that I became a registered dietitian, well, okay, let's go back a little bit. In high school, I had a really rocky relationship with food. I definitely suffered a lot with body image and body dysmorphia, exercise addiction, and an eating disorder. So quite a bit of problems as a child. And so for the last 2 years of high school, I just kept losing, and you know, my hair was falling out. I was extremely malnourished. I was in a pretty dark place, and I had a lot of great people in my life, friends and family, who were trying to get me to seek out help. And I really just wasn't processing it. I didn't think that I had a problem for the longest time. And then one day I stepped on the scale and checked my weight, and I just started bawling. I could not stop crying. I was like, oh, it gives me chills thinking about it. I was like, I'm gonna be one of those statistics of people who die from an eating disorder. I'm going to be that if I don't change. I knew I deserved better in life, and I knew that I was capable of really great things and that I could be happy and I deserved to be happy. And I don't know, it was like it felt like it all just came together in that moment. And from that moment on, I started gaining weight again. I started going down a healthier path and like reading mindful and intuitive eating books and nutrition books and learning how to actually fuel your body in the right way. Because again, I said, like, my hair was falling out. My body was just not functioning properly. I had a period during my eating disorder, but that was only because I was on birth control. And then after I went off birth control, I didn't have my period for like 2 years plus. So I had really messed up my whole metabolism, my whole body. And I really was just researching about nutrition. And you know, after a while, I was like, okay, I'm in my senior year. I need to start thinking about college. What's the number one thing that I love? And I had found that at that time, I was like, I want to help people develop a healthy relationship with food and not go through the same thing that I did when I was going through my eating disorder. So it was a pivotal moment in my life because I think before then I really didn't think I was going to go to college. And you know, after that I got my master's degree in nutrition and dietetics, and I did my internship. So I did like 7 years of college, which is crazy if you can include the internship in that. So that's why it's 7 years. But I did a lot of school after that, and I don't know, it was just, it felt like it was meant to be. I didn't really know my path in life. I thought maybe I'd do cosmetology school or something like that after school, but I ended up doing dietetics, which it was a blessing. So, okay, on to the next question. I know that was a long answer, but hopefully some of these will be shorter. Next question is, what is your sign? So I am a Leo. I feel like I need to learn more about the rising signs and all of that stuff. I'm kind of like, I feel like I know a little bit about astrology, but that kind of stuff I need to learn more about. So if you have any book recommendations for me, leave them below because I definitely want to learn more about that. But yes, I am a Leo, born August 20th. I feel like the Leo sign both makes sense sometimes and doesn't make sense sometimes. Like they usually, I'll look up a quick description of Leo meaning? Okay, so usually they describe Leo as very dramatic, creative, self-confident, dominant, and difficult to resist. Oh my God, that's a weird description. And your sign is a fire sign. Okay, so I feel like based on that description, I kind of feel like I resonate with it a little bit. Maybe not like the dominant part. I'm definitely not a dominant type of a person. I'm very passive when it comes to some things. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm like fiery about a lot of things that I'm passionate about, but in terms of like a conversation flow, one-on-one, in person, if you met me, I'm pretty like laid back, and I usually let the other person lead the conversation depending on, I mean, I feel like that makes me sound bad, but like I'm usually like a listener in a conversation, and then once I get closer to a person or feel more comfortable in a conversation, then usually it's like less of that going on. But I would say normally I'm not like 100% just like really dominant, high energy. Now, dramatic and creative, you let me know in the comments section below, those people who actually know more than me about astrology. Do I fit the Leo personality type? All right, next question. Oh, speaking of personality types, the next question is my MBTI and enneagram personality type. So MBTI, for those of you who don't know, is the Myers-Briggs personality type indicator. I think that's what it stands for in the acronym. But the Myers-Briggs is one of my favorite personality type quizzes, or not a quiz, but like, you know, whatever you would call it. There's 16 personality types. I am an INFJ, which means my dominant quality is introverted intuition and extroverted feeling. So I definitely am a nerd about Myers-Briggs. I also have a book on that. I feel a book chat coming on. I actually have a stack of books that I'm prepared to share with you. Speaking of books in this conversation, I've been really reading a lot of books and also listening to a lot on Audible. Super big fan of Audible just because it helps me multitask. But anyway, so my personality type on Myers-Briggs is INFJ, and I am on Enneagram. I have to be honest, with Enneagram, I have no idea what I actually am because I've taken the test multiple times and I can't get a consistent answer. On the one that I've taken, it'll show you like little pie chart splits of like what number you are and stuff like that. And honestly, I just can't get a consistent answer because I think I was really close the first time. So it's like, okay, maybe I can retake it and like see if I get a more distinct answer. Nope, I'm always like right down the middle on like 5 different numbers. So I'm very confused. I will say the one that made the most sense when I read the description was a 2 wing 3. So take that for what it's worth. I have no idea. Can someone else personality type an Enneagram? Is that possible? Because I know you can do that for Myers-Briggs, but I'm not sure about Enneagram. With Myers-Briggs, I just felt like when I read the INFJ personality type, I was like 100%. I like totally resonated with everything. And I felt like so understood and so validated. I just didn't get the same thing with my Enneagram type. So maybe I'm just like mistyping myself constantly. Next question is, what do you do for work outside of YouTube? Okay, so I was working more in like a health coaching role. So still doing like a lot of like health related, nutrition related stuff, but within the scope of practice of a health coach. And within that role, I also eventually moved to working with more high risk clientele, including those with like anxiety, depression, other maybe mental health concerns, suicidal ideation, and eating disorders. So that is kind of my background, or what I did. Now, I did recently quit my full-time job. So right now I am full-time YouTube, and I'm also, doing stuff, of course, in my dietitian role. So I'm still keeping up to date with all of that. I'm taking one-on-one clients, and I would consider it like almost like a group coaching thing with my Mindful Muscles Academy. I'm really passionate about the coaching for nutrition, mindful eating, and also like just developing healthy habits and kind of the psychology behind it all. So if you can mesh that into like one cohesive thing, then that's what I truly love to do. I'm also working on other things like workout bundles and stuff like that because I am a personal trainer and soon to be yoga instructor as well. So yeah, I do a lot of things and I love continuing education, and so somehow I just find myself doing all the certs, all the certifications. Next question is, do you still use the TIU app and plans? So TIU is Tone It Up. I have been a Tone It Up fan for a really long time and a Tone It Up girl. Say hello in the comment section if you are a Tone It Up girl as well. I think I started following Karina and Katrina in, was it I want to say 2013, 2014. I can't remember exactly. I remember I saw a magazine on the shelf in like a grocery store when I was on vacation, and it had like two, you know, of course, beautiful girls on the front. So I was like, okay, I need these girls as tips. It's terrible to say, but I've been a fan of them for a really long time. And actually my very first YouTube video on YouTube was a Tone It Up meal plan review. So that was such a long time ago. Oh my God, please don't search it. To answer the question though, I don't really use the plans. I mean, I have the plans on my iPad, and like from time to time I will use some of the recipes, but do I follow the plan? Really, honestly, no. I find it's a little too low calorie and not carb heavy enough for me. And like, here's the thing. I think that like, while I love Tone It Up so much from the bottom of my heart, I do find that like, I don't know, for someone who is an active individual, I just think you need a way more carbs and way more calories, to be honest, than what the meal plan recommends. Now, I know they do have like ways to adapt the meal plan and stuff. So long story short, I do use some of the recipes from the meal plan, but I don't really use it as my like end all be all guide. It's just kind of like, to me, like another recipe book. So they do have a lot of good ones. As for the app, I am still a subscriber to the app, but I'm gonna decide in December if I'm gonna continue with it. To be honest, this is where like, and I don't want this to seem like I'm being like incredibly negative about Tone It Up. I really love them and I really appreciate everything they've done and all the stuff that they've created up until this point. I think for the app itself, I wish I saw more workouts with Karina and Katrina instead of some of the other trainers. And that's not anything personal. That's just like, you know, when I sign up for a workout app with a certain trainer, I kind of expect to have mostly workouts with that trainer. It's not that I'm like against anyone else in their community. I think they have a couple of good trainers, and then they've had a couple that have come and left, and that's totally fine. But yeah, I find that I appreciate their energy and just their workout styles and stuff like that. And so I kind of am debating on whether or not I want to keep the app or not, because I miss the old Tone It Up days. I'm not gonna lie. And I know I'm not the only one who feels that way, but I understand that life changes and you're in different chapters of life, but that's just my honest thoughts on it. I'm not 100% sure that I will continue the app. I've been doing a lot of Apple Fitness Plus workouts and I really love the trainers on that app. For me, it's just like a trainer vibe. If I don't vibe with you, then I don't really want to work out with you, but you also have to have good workouts too. So it's like a mixture of factors, and I've been really vibing with Apple Fitness Plus. Kyle is my favorite trainer, super awesome, but they have tons of wonderful trainers on that app too. So definitely recommend Apple Fitness Plus. Not sponsored, but just a recommendation based off this question. Okay, next question is, what do you watch on YouTube? Oh, what/who do you watch on YouTube? So I am like a weird, you probably wouldn't expect some of the things that I watch on YouTube. I mean, I watch a lot of online entrepreneur and YouTube entrepreneur stuff, you know, different YouTube stuff. I mean, and that's not just like algorithm related. It's like how to be a good speaker and how to be comfortable on camera and how to be productive in your day as an online entrepreneur. Those are the topics that I typically go for in that kind of space. I mean, my favorite YouTubers, if I had to say, are definitely Kayla Nicholson and Simply Nailogical. Simply also doesn't do as many like regular YouTube videos anymore, but she does like live streaming and stuff like that still, and she's still my girl. Like, I love both of them. Kayla Nicholson is such a sweetie, and she makes just really fun chit chat videos and vlog style videos, and I just love her energy. So she has been someone who I've followed for years and years and years and years. I'm like an OG fan of hers as well. And then yeah, I'm kind of like all over the place on this question because it kind of depends on my mood. Because sometimes I like want the vibey stuff with Kaylin, sometimes I want the funny stuff with Simply Nailogical, and then like other times I want YouTube for like strictly educational purposes like entrepreneurship. And I also have been watching a lot of like finance videos, Graham Stephan and Andre G. I know that's like the male section of YouTube, but I have been really nerding out about learning more about, you know, being confident with my finances. And I have started investing since the pandemic started, investing into index funds and doing other stuff like that. So yeah, a little bit of everything, honestly, but definitely productivity, inspiration, education. Those are my top things. And then sometimes entertainment, but I've been going to TikTok for that mostly. Next question is, I'd love to know about working for yourself. I'm a wannabe entrepreneur. Yeah, I totally feel that. I still kind of feel like I'm a wannabe entrepreneur a little bit. And this was from a fellow dietitian too. You are in good company. I think all of us who are new to business kind of feel this like nervousness about working for yourself and everything like that. And I did do a recent video where I explained kind of my life updates and advice that I'd give to my past self to just provide some inspiration. So I'll leave that in the description below if you want to watch that whole video, because I talk a little bit more about this. But I think my number one tip I would say is that I wish I would have believed in myself a lot sooner. I know that like some people struggle with that and some people don't, but for me that was probably the biggest part that held me back and like hindered my growth for so long. And I definitely feel like I could have gotten a lot further faster if I would have just had that confidence in myself that I have the ability to do what I need to do to make a successful business. So that's number one. And if you don't have any problems with confidence, or you know you're planning on working on that and you need another tangible tip, I would say consider, as a dietitian entrepreneur, creating an online course. So you don't have to always be trading your time for money, because that's another thing, like especially if you're working a full-time job, it's going to be really hard to take one-on-one clients and do your full-time job. So I would recommend creating an online course that you can create passively. I will leave a link to my favorite program that I took that helped me learn how to create an online course, and I just did it this year. But I wish I would have had that course so much sooner, because I think I would have gotten a little bit further in my business a long time ago. So that's my number one tip. And you know, charge what you're worth. Charge not that you are worth, I hate that saying because it sounds wrong, but don't be afraid to charge fair prices, I guess is how I would reframe that. You and your services and your education is very valuable. So when you're charging, whether it's for a course or for one-on-one clients, charge what you're worth. Don't undercharge. There's keto Kens out there that are charging like $1,000 a month. Like don't worry too much about that. Just get started. I'll leave resources and links down below, because I know I get a lot of questions about this too. And I kind of compiled all the links that I would recommend of like things that I would recommend in like one tiny page. So I'll link to that below for you. But thank you for the question. I will keep you updated on my entrepreneurial journey. And if I have any tips, then maybe I'll compile them in a video so I can like get them succinctly together. All right, so it is Monday night and I'm supposed to be uploading my video for tomorrow to go live. And I realized that it cut off the last 10 seconds or 30 seconds of my video. And so I'm doing this outro outside where it is nice and pretty. Such a nice day out. But I just wanted to leave you with a few words because, I don't know, the channel and my business and everything has just felt like it's had a big shift in the last 2 months. As I stated, my Full-time job is no longer. I'm doing YouTube full-time for the time being, as long as I can, you know, make things work for the next couple of months while I get my business going. And it's been a very overwhelming process. I mean, you probably see, I threw on some makeup because I had to do this video, and you can probably see that I am, I got some bags under my eyes. It's been quite the past couple of months / weeks, but I just want to say thank you so much for all of your support and your kind words, and just, you know, to those of you who have reached out to me and just said some really nice, sweet things. It really means a lot. I'm a words of affirmation gal, so words of affirmation are something that I need a lot right now, unfortunately, because change is super hard. But I just want to say that I'm super excited for what's to come with the channel and how things will transform as time goes on. Right now I am about to move, so it might take a little bit of time, even more so, to really get situated and change things up on the channel, but you will have some fun things to look forward to in the coming weeks, including my nutrition masterclass, which will be coming very, very soon, probably next week or the week after, and I will link to that in the description when that's available. But yeah, I just wanted to update you on that. So many fun things coming, and a big thank you to all of you who have been so supportive of this channel. Started it in late 2017 and didn't really get serious until about a couple years ago when I moved to Colorado. And I think that this new shift in my schedule will just open up a lot of room and space for new fun things on the channel, and I'm super excited about that. So bugs are biting me right now, and as beautiful as it is, I am not down for the bugs or the bears that are probably going to show up in the background, because there has been a bear in the neighborhood recently. It destroyed the shed down the hill, so that's fun. So I don't want to run into a bear. So before I get attacked by a bear, I am going to go back inside. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, and I will leave a video up here on the screen for you to click or tap if you want to keep hanging out today.